everybody. Thanks for coming to morning class. In prep for today's class for the props that you need, I would go ahead. And it's really all that you are going to need for proppage for today's class. For this morning, we're just going to be focusing on some twists via asana form, our vinyasa form, just so that we can up and lengthen our spine a little bit today. Since earlier this week we were working on back conditioning and doing balancing poses, and today, since it's Thursday, we're going to be a little more gentle and go ahead and soften things up just a little bit. So as you go ahead and lie out your yoga mat, you can go ahead and come into a child's pose position to start. Good. You can make this as passive or active as you'd like. So to make this be a little more active, you can curl the toes and get palms to the ground, or you can just allow your toes to rest on top of the mat here. And so breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Allow yourself to ground a little bit. So take a deep inhales in, out through the nose. And just allowing your body to surrender itself to the mat as you go through your exhales here. Take about 2 to 3 more breaths. More than welcome to set an intention for your practice today. And on the next inhale, we're going to lift up our fingertips and we're going to go ahead and walk over towards the right side of the mat, possibly the left hand onto the right to get a body side stretch underneath the left armpit, alongside the left ribs, grounding through the left hip. And breathing into the sensations that you feel. Maybe walking in a little deeper. 2 more breaths. And then walk yourself back to the center, and we're going to find ourselves alongside the left side. This time, feel the sensations underneath our right armpit, alongside our right ribs. Back into the center position. Very slowly round through the straight all your way up into a kneel position. Hands are going to be onto the knee. We're going to rotate the shoulders back. Inhale, chest forward, eye gaze up, sitting cow. Exhale, run through the shoulders, chin to chest, cow. Just allow yourselves to lubricate through the shoulders, through the upper spine. And so that for our next move, you would like, you can have a block nearby and allow it to be present behind you. We're going to come into our first twist of the day. So you can stay in the kneel position. It feels better to be in crisscross applesauce form. Go ahead and readjust yourself. And from here, whatever sitting position you choose, we're going to go ahead and rise up with the arms towards the ceiling. You're going to rotate the shoulders back. Straighten out through the spine. 3 more breaths. after each exhale, you're gonna find that your arms are going alongside your bicep here. And we're gonna turn our body over towards the right side of the room. Place left hand onto the right thigh, and the right arm can come behind onto the ground. And so, if you need a little grounding support here, you can take a block behind. And find that lift through the chest, IVs over the right shoulder. Continuously as we twist, finding this length through our spine, lifting up the navel about 2 inches. Nice proud chest. And if you would like, you can also take the eye gaze over the left shoulder as we remain into the twist. Two more breaths. Now we're going to inhale, take the eye gaze back over the right shoulder, the arms up, and rise all the way to the center. We're going to take about 3 to 5 more breaths with our arms up in the air. So again, if you feel like your lower spine is overarching, just take the stomach inward, help straighten out the spine a little bit. A little minimal tailbone tuck. Bring the bicep alongside the ears. Good. And then we're going to twist over, inhaling towards the left side, right hand onto the left thigh. We're going to take the left hand behind, grab a block if you need to. Really allowing us to open up our shoulders here. And then we're going to inhale, come up onto our tabletop position. Allow it to be nice and long so that there's no shallow spacings. Good. So our shoulders right above our wrist. Inhale, come up into your cow form, chest lifted, tailbone up. And then as you exhale, round through the shoulder and bring the shoulders towards the ceiling into your cat. Good. Go ahead and do this 4 more times for a total of 5. You can either stay in your traditional cat-cows, or if you like to do some swaying side to side, some rolling with the hips, get a little action in your movements today, you're more than welcome to bring that into your practice. Just go ahead and do a few more here for a total of 5. And then once you have done your 5, you can go ahead and spread your knees apart a little bit, big toes to touch, and thread the needle by taking the right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. And we're going to open it up here for just a couple breaths. And if you would like, you can also take the back of the hand behind the spine here, so that it can open up a little bit more through the chest. One more breath. If your hand was behind your back, go ahead and bring it back up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to exhale, thread the needle. Bring in the right arm underneath the left shoulder, right ear and temple to the mat. Keeping the hips up into the air. You're more than welcome to take your arm either to the front of the mat here. You can also take the right arm behind, or excuse me, the left arm behind your spine, trying to grab onto the right thigh. Whatever feels most comfortable for you today. And then take your 5 breaths as you find that position here. Good. And then after your 5 breaths, you can replace the hand in front of your face. Good. Very gently, inhale, rise. Bringing the right arm very slowly back up towards the ceiling for 3 breaths. And then you can release, right hand to the ground. Inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling. For 5 breaths, you keep the arm up towards the ceiling, or if you wish, you could rotate the shoulder back, bring the back of the hand onto the hip, going into a deeper twist and shoulder opening here. And then after you've taken your breaths, you can go ahead, inhale, rise, so bringing the left arm back up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to thread the needle, shooting the left arm through, temple to the ground, keeping that tailbone up. And then you can either take the right arm towards the front of the mat or behind your spine. 5 breaths. Then after your 5 breaths, you very slowly return the right hand. And inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling once more for 3 breaths. And then you can go ahead and release. And as you release, go ahead and do about 2 to 3 more sets of cat-cow here. And then once you've done your 3, once you go to your next cat, you're going to curl the toes instead, take the arms forward, and then come up into a downward facing dog. Nice, so going ahead and pedaling up the legs here, stretching out the hamstrings, bringing your hips up towards the sky, hollowing out the lower spine, chest towards the ground through your shoulders here. Just a couple more breaths. And then we're going to go ahead, take your eye gaze forward, bend the knees. We're going to hop to the front of the mat into our Uttanasana forward fold. And in the forward fold here, let's go ahead and open up the legs just a little bit more than hip length apart. Just a little more. Bring the tailbone towards the back of the room. Rotate the shoulders back. Inhale, halfway lift, figure 7. Stretching out the lower spine. Straightening out the legs here. Just gonna need a couple of breaths to open up the hamstrings up. Nice. And then from here, inhale into a cow spine, chest lifted, tailbone up. Exhale, round through the shoulders, chin to chest. You're gonna bend the knees softly, bring the arms to the sides, and inhale, rise all the way up in the high mountain. And we're gonna bring our feet together here. Nice, and as we bring our feet together, we can go ahead and create the Kali Mudra with our hands. So we go ahead and step that over here. The Kali Mudra is the finger gun pointing action here. Go ahead and just kind of fiddle with the camera a little bit. There we go. Hopefully we can see a little better here. Nice. So go ahead, recreate the Kali Mudra. Feet are together. Rotate the shoulders back, power chest, inhale, rise. Bringing the arms up towards the ceiling. And as you have the arms towards the ceiling, we're going to take a couple breaths. Find some of that core engagement here to keep us stable. Grounding our feet into the mat underneath. Once we've had a couple breaths in, we can start with the biceps alongside the ears, to guide the arm straight over towards the right side of the room. Bringing the arms back, breathing into the side body right underneath the armpit. 3 more breaths. Inhale, rise. Take a couple breaths to reset yourself. Get that sunshine in. Nice. We're gonna go ahead, inhale, start the side body over towards the left side, straightening out your arms. Arms towards the back of the room. 5 breaths. Inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling, and then palms together, Samasthiti. Taking a breath for yourself here. So go ahead and take this breath for yourself. We're gonna go ahead one more time. Inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna exhale, halfway lift, up, forward fold to the ground. Good. Let's go ahead and take the left leg back, flat left palm. Inhale, rise, right arm towards the ceiling, twist, squaring through the hips. And if you like to, you can also take that right hand and bring it behind your spine. A little shoulder opening, your chest opening here. 3 more breaths. And inhale, rise, arm back up towards the ceiling. Release, right to the right foot. And on the next breath, inhale, kick the left leg up towards the ceiling. And then right leg forward fold. Finding that inhale, halfway lift. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Just go ahead, take the right leg back this time. Flat right palm. Square the hips. So that inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling. You can either keep it lifted or you can twist it behind your spine here. Good. 3 more breaths. Good. Inhale, rise towards the ceiling. By the left foot. Inhale, rise. Kick the right leg up towards the ceiling. Meet with the left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Flatten the palms. Either hop, step, or walk into plank. Come forward all the way to the ground. Chaturanga. Inhale to cobra. And then exhale, release. Curl the toes. Inhale, rise. Chaturanga, downward facing dog. Ground through the shoulders. And then we're going to inhale, come forward into plank again. Chaturanga to the ground. Inhale to cobra. Good. Exhale, release. Curl the toes. Inhale, chaturanga, downward facing dog. Pedal off the legs if necessary. Once more, around through the shoulders, come into plank, drop all the way to the ground. Inhale to cobra. Good. Exhale, release. Inhale, chaturanga, downward facing dog. Paddle off the legs. Bend the knees gently. I gaze forward, pop from the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Find that inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to place our hands out to the shins to start to bring our tailbone back. Rotate the shoulders back into the girdle here. Nice. And as we come into this lower squat, lifting up through our chest, preparing for our chair, we can rotate our shoulders back and inhale, bring our arms up towards the ceiling here into our chair position. Good. 2 more breaths. Nice, and inhale, rise all the way up, high mountain, possibly a back bend, if you wish here. And then palms together, Samasthiti. Inhale, find a straight spine, halfway lift to the forward fold. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and take the left leg back. We're gonna drop the left knee, go to the top of the left foot, square the hips, preparing for our Anjaneyasana, square the hips. And then inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling here. Nice. So we want to have the action of dragging the front leg forward here to lengthen out through the spine instead of overarching into the lower back here. That's we're allowing yourself to create space instead of putting a lot of tension onto the little spine. If you like, you can take the next breath. Inhale, back bend if you wish. And you can place the palms to the center here. One breath. Nice, so we're just gonna walk the right foot a little towards the right side of the mat. And we're gonna come forward, taking our hands to the mat, lizard prep here. But from here, we're gonna go onto the outer edge of the right foot, open up through the hip. And we're gonna inhale, rise, taking the right hand onto the right knee, and very gently open up through the right hip. Allowing yourself to feel some of that fascial release here. Nice, 2 more breaths. And we can very slowly bring that knee back in. Good. And then from here, we can go ahead, curl the left toes, rise up with the left knee, and we can take the right hand to the inside of the right foot, drop the left foot, the warrior diagonal, open up the chest towards the left side, and then inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling for a couple breaths in the side angle pose, rooting through that left pinky toe. Nice. Then once you feel sturdy, you can then go ahead, pendulum swing the left arm down towards the front of the room here as we continue to open up through the chest. 3 more breaths. Now let's take it 5. Good. After those 5 breaths, we can inhale, pendulum swing the left arm back down, and then rise back up towards the ceiling. Flip the palm towards the back of the room and take the hand behind the spine here. And pressing the back of the hand onto the hips or onto the thighs. Open up the chest more towards the left side. 3 more breaths. And if you're feeling challenging, you can even take the right hand underneath to find the left to find yourself in a bind. And again, release. Bring the left arm back up towards the ceiling. Lift up through the left ankle here. Nice. And then we can go ahead, very gently bring the right leg back, finding ourselves into plank. Going into chaturanga, flipping the feet, guiding the chest up into upward facing dog this time. And exhale, release, downward facing dog. Go ahead, pedal up through the legs. We're going to bend the knees gently, eye gaze forward. We're going to inhale, hop our way to the front of the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Good. Finding an inhale, halfway lift. As you find this halfway lift, let's walk our peace fingers towards the right side of the room. 3 breaths. Good, and release the center. Inhale, just over towards the left side, square the hips. Good. Come back to the center, and then this time we're gonna go ahead and take the right leg back, running lunge prep, and then drop the right knee, top the right foot. Nice, keep the hips square. And then from here, inhale, rise, arms all the way up towards the ceiling, into our Arjanayasana for 5 breaths. Good. So we keep that lower core nice and engaged, the chest lifted. Navel rises 2 inches. More than welcome to come into a back bend if you wish. And we can bring the palms to the heart center. And then very gently take our hands down and walk our left foot a little towards the left side of the mat. And very gently go on the outer edge of the left foot. And then inhale, bring the left hand to the left knee, just very gently guiding the hip to open. Twisting the body slightly, looking over the left shoulder. 3 more breaths. And then you can bring the knee back in. And we're going to take the left hand to the inside of the left foot, straighten out through the right leg, coming onto the outer edge of the right foot here, coming into the side angle pose. So pressing the left tricep onto the left knee, vice versa. Inhale, rise, bringing the right arm towards the ceiling here, open up through the chest, 5 breaths. You can just keep it lifted here, or if you like, pendulum swing to the front of the room. Nice and deep to the side body, continuing to open up through the chest. You can also, from here, take the left arm back up, right arm towards the ceiling, I should say. You can take it behind your spine, open up more through the chest. You can stay here for a couple breaths. And if you wish, you go ahead and take the left arm underneath to find the right hand for 3 breaths. Bringing the right shoulder back. And then you can release. Placing the hands back onto the mat here. We square through the hips. Good. We're going to take the left leg back, coming into plank. Next, we're going to shift forward, chaturanga, flip the feet, upward facing dog. And this time, knees onto the ground, child's pose. Good. Making this child's pose active, stretching the arms towards the front of the mat. Just take a couple breaths to catch your breath. Maybe take a drink of water. Nice. And from here, you can curl your toes, run out through the shoulders, come forward into plank, exhale, downward facing dog. I'm going to root through the left heel and inhale, rise, right leg, 3-legged dog. Good. We can bend the knee and open up the hip crease. Good. About 3 breaths. And get square through the hips. Inhale, bring the right knee to nose, and then bring the right leg all the way forward here. Nice. And so then, as I bring it on forward here, I'm going to go ahead, take the right arm in front of the right foot, straighten out through the right leg, the left foot, and inhale, rise. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. About 3 breaths. Good. We're going to point the toes down. We're going to rotate the left hip crease towards the ground. And we're going to take the arms towards the back of the room. Variation of Warrior 3. Rising up through the chest, engaging through the back core. And then we're going to inhale, rise. Arms up towards the ceiling, knee up towards the ceiling as well. Good. Then we're going to go ahead, place the left foot down, arms up, come into chair pose, palms to the heart center. And as we come into our chair pose, we're going to inhale, twist over towards the left side of the room. And then stay here for a couple breaths. Or if you like, you can open up the arms to get into an even deeper twist. 5 breaths. Good. And we can put the hands down, palms to the heart center. And from here, you can go ahead and take the left arm down. And we're going to take the left arm back like we just did for our Warrior 2-3. And then this time, if you need a block, you can grab a block and place it underneath the left hand here. As you square through the hips, we're gonna inhale, rise, open up through the right arm into Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana, revolve, half moon. And after a couple breaths, you can go ahead and place the right hand down, left leg down. Good. You can go ahead and straighten up through the right leg into pyramid pose, squaring up through the hips, so the hands can be onto the blocks here from the mat, maybe onto the shin. And then we're going to go ahead and take the hands down, walk to the center of the mat into a wide-legged forward fold. So just take a couple breaths, bring the tailbone up, hands to the ground. Finding inhale, halfway lift, flat left palm, inhale, rise, right arm towards the ceiling. Couple breaths. Release. Inhale, left arm towards the ceiling. 3 breaths. Release. Go ahead and walk all the way to the front of the mat here, or to the back of the mat, so that the left leg is now into the front. Bring your block if you need it. Good. You can take the hand onto the block or onto the ground, and we can lift it through the right leg, and then inhale, open up your right arm to Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. And then after those 5 breaths, you can then square through the hips, point the toes down, rotate the hips back, right arm back, and then you can bring the left arm back for your 3 variation. And then you can inhale, rise, bring the right knee up towards your chest with you. And then palms down into the heart center. You go ahead, inhale, start to squat into your chair pose. Inhale, hinge the left elbow to the right thigh. Open up the palms for 5 breaths. Good. After 5 breaths, you can go ahead and take the left arm towards the front of the mat here. Keep the right arm lifted. We're going to go ahead and bring the left leg back. And we're going to come into Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana, half moon revolve. Keeping the hips square, keeping the foot very flexed in the back, either toes pointed down or towards the back of the room. Good. You can very gently replace the right hand down. Good. And you go ahead, bring that left leg back. And you come into a pyramid pose here. Good. Hands to the shins or hands onto the block. Good. And then we're going to come forward, bend at the right leg. Good. And bring the right foot back. Nice. Root to the right foot, inhale, rise, left leg towards the ceiling, bend through the knee, and open up the hip crease. Good. And then we can replace the left leg back to the ground with the right hand. Good. Come forward, drop the knees, another child's pose here. And then we can come forward onto our forearms into Sphinx pose. Go ahead to get a couple breaths to breathe in through the spine here. Take your arms out to the T, left hand towards the face, allowing the right palm to be onto the ground here, feet together. Right, inhale, rotate to the outer edge of the right hip and the right leg. Getting a good shoulder stretch and opening up through the right pec here. You can take the top foot behind the left leg if you need to. A couple breaths here. And then you can go ahead, replace the feet, come onto the stomach, take the left arm out, right hand in front of the face, inhale, rotate to the outside of the left hip. And then you can come back onto your stomach here. Bring the hands by your hips, press the hands into the mat. And inhale, rise to your chest. Half locust pose. And exhale, release. And from here, we're going to go ahead and rotate ourselves onto our spine, hugging the knees in. We're coming to the end of our practice here. So you can go ahead, hands onto the ground, right next to your hips. Rotate the shoulders back to the girdle, point the toes up, and then inhale, bring them towards the ceiling. Inverted staff pose. I'm going to bring our arms out to the T. We're going to inhale, send the legs over towards the right side of the room. Gaze over the left shoulder. Two more breaths. Good. Push the back of the hands into the mat. Inhale, rise, engage your core. Bring the legs up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to exhale, send them on over towards the left side of the room. And gaze over the right shoulder. And we're going to inhale, rise. Bringing the legs back up towards the ceiling. Knees into the chest. Go ahead, wrap the right knee in. Inhale, straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. Bring it all the way to the ground. Right arm towards the side. And then we're going to twist, bringing the right knee towards the left side, getting a little deeper into the spine here. Great shoulders up to the ground. And inhale, bring the right knee back to the center, straight the hips. Inhale, rise, put the left leg up towards the ceiling, into the knee, or knee into the chest. Inhale, straighten the right leg up towards the ceiling. And then lower it all the way to the ground. Good. Bring the left arm to the T. Tuck the hips and inhale. Bring the left knee over towards the left side of the room, making sure the left shoulder is up to the ground. And then inhale, bring the knee back to the center. And then hug the knee. Inhale, rise the right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend the knee in. Go ahead, hug it out, rock side to side. Inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. Point the toes towards the front of the mat. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And you go ahead and surrender and stay here for the next few moments in your Shavasana. You're more than welcome to stay here in your Shavasana. Or if you wish, you can go ahead and start to find some micro movements of your toes, your ankles, your fingers, and your wrists. Allow yourself to reawaken from this state. And you can take a deep inhale, bringing your arms above overhead, knees into the chest. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. You guide your knees either to the left or to the right side. Upper body to follow. And then you can slowly assist yourself into a comfortable seated position. You put your arms, palms, hands into the heart center, and you can take a bow for yourself today for taking the time to come to today's class. And to hope peace and health for the rest of your day. And namaste. All right, y'all, thanks so much for hanging out with me this morning. I hope your spine feels nice and groovy. And if you like, hopefully I'll see you tonight. Oh no, it's raining. Well, I guess I'm not doing any gardening today. Dang. I'll see you later. Bye.